Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit. I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. WTF is Sang Froid, Tales of Werewolves, Tome number 1. This is a game by Artifice Studios, and it is the most Canadian game you will ever see. I mean, even looking at the title screen, it just screams Canadian at me, right there. There's a guy there with a pipe, there's some kind of folk music going on in the background, that guy's wearing what appears to be a gopher for a hat. Oh yeah, and the whole possessed women thing, which, in my personal experience with Canada, is very, very true. No doubt some Canadian men will back me up on that. One way or the other, this is a game that I would describe as an action defense game. I don't say tower defense because there are no actual towers in it, but it is a defense game nonetheless. It involves defending your cabin and certain other buildings against the ravages of supernatural creatures, which includes, needless to say, wolves, more wolves, werewolves, and a few other things as we go along. You have to do this in historical Canada, which is in itself fairly unusual. Let's have a look at the options menu, shall we? This is currently a beta version, so you're going to be seeing this in 720p. I usually upload my videos in 1080p, unless there is no other option. Just as a quick clarifier before we go on, I never upload ever in 480p or lower than that. If you ever see a video with only that available, that means the video has not processed yet and YouTube is being slow. It's as simple as that, so come back later. Anyway, this one is in 720p because the beta currently doesn't offer any resolution change options, even though the rest of them are fairly significant. Key bindings, fully rebindable, always nice. This game is a third-person game, so that's something to bear in mind. Need to say FOV, not really all that important. So let's load into the game and explain what exactly is going on with it. This being, of course, the premier wolf defending simulator. Now, this is based on various days, and these days consist of two different parts, the day and the night. The night is when you've got to kind of worry a little bit, because usually that means wolves is coming to eat you. There is a reason for all of that. Don't really want to spoil the plot. You may see it a little bit. It's an interesting tale indeed. It's actually co-written by a best-selling Canadian author by the name of Brian Parrow. You want to know what he wrote? He wrote something called Amos Daragon, as well as Werewolf. So there you go. Okay, in we go. Let's have a look-see and see what's going on. I believe this is going to put me into daytime by the looks of it.
The beast did a lot of damage last night, so I'd gone down to the hardware store in the village to get stuff to fix my mill. I was coming back, and since I didn't have any more tobacco in my pouch, I said to myself, it'd be a good idea to warm myself up a little at Jackie's.
Say, Phidias, could there be something here that's attracting the beast? Except for my cabin, my barn, there's just your mill. But the attacks keep getting worse night after night. You're not hiding anything from us, are you, friend?
Me? Hiding something? As I live and breathe. In fact, if there's something I would have liked, it would have been for you to help me defend my mill last night. The lumberjacks from W. Hood Company came to take away the downed tree that was blocking the main road. So you can easily get to the mill now. And then, if you help me, I'll help you back putting out your traps. With the three of us, it'll go faster.
Sounds like a good deal to me. You can count on us tonight. We'll protect your mill.
Alright. So that's fairly relevant because it does introduce some different mechanics into the game. Now, we're just going to skip all of this. The game has a lot of tutorial movies, a huge amount, in fact. Now, in this case, this adds a different defense objective. I have to also defend the mill. Now, you will fail if you don't do that. So this map right here is a planning map. It shows you where spawns are going to appear from. There's going to be two waves tonight by the looks of it. First wave is going to consist primarily of wolves, grand wolves, and there's going to be a werewolf over there, which is a little annoying. And aside from that, another werewolf, two werewolves, that's a pain in the ass, standard wolves, and grand wolf over there. There are other mythical creatures that are unlocked later in the game. As it stands, however, we'll just be dealing with the wolves. Now, what you can do is place various different kinds of traps. As you can see down here. Spike trap right here. This actually costs a little bit of money. 15 cents. It's fairly back far in time. Currently, I have a grand total of 94 cents to my name, which is not so great. You can put down stuff like bonfires, hanging nets, wolf traps. A lot of the wolf traps will activate on their own. Stuff like hanging nets, you have to activate yourself. So it's a game that's kind of similar to Orcs Must Die. That's one of the closest examples that I can give. I mean, if you think about games like Dungeon Defenders, it's not really the same thing, because a lot of the stuff in there is automated against towers. In this case, it is a trap defense game, as opposed to a tower defense game, although there's a fairly significant element of melee and ranged combat in it as well, which also brings parallels to Orcs Must Die. Bonfires you can activate yourself, and so on and so forth, and that introduces some more advanced mechanics rather than just killing stuff, so that's something to bear in mind. Now, during the day, you can also chop down lumber, which spends action points. I have about 300 here. Now, when you do that, it will give you money, which you can then spend in town to get stuff. And your character has an inventory as well as a rather significant set of skills, which you can get in his skill tree. I have a point available, so let's go have a look at it. There's a lot of stuff here. A lot of stuff, including the nervous beaver trick. Yes, I kid you not. This is the most Canadian of games. There is nothing more Canadian than this, as you can probably tell. Intimidation, trapping, all sorts of different upgrades that you can get. A lot of passive stuff, as well as a few active abilities here and there. Baiting, carpentry, lumberjacking. That sounds like something that might be good, actually. So 3 more cents for a total of 4 cents. Yeah, I'm going to grab the lumberjacking skill, I think. There we go. I have a couple of other upgrades. I've got the flying brace and bit, which is a skill, if you can actually believe that. The Sasquatch's kiss, the sawmill. God, this could not be any more Canadian. Oh, but don't worry, it can. Oh, it very much can. We will head our way into the town, and we'll see just how Canadian it gets. You can upgrade your bullets with various different characteristics as well. They can be blessed in town. You get range upgrades here and there. These are my current weapons. An old pine lumberjack axe, as well as the brown bess musket, which is, I don't believe, particularly good. So we're going to head into town. We'll see what's there, and then maybe we have to chop some wood to make some money in order to actually get anything. So the town's got various areas that you can visit in order to get items. The general store is right here. So I'll have a quick look inside. Mostly just kind of standard shopping stuff. The inventory of this particular area changes from time to time. A Rocky Mountain rifle might not be a terrible idea. The Springfield musket is not something I can really afford at this stage, although I have to imagine the Rocky Mountain rifle is a little bit better. So what is discretion? It's a very odd stat that I don't truly understand. And obviously the rest of it makes a lot of sense, but discretion, I don't really know what that means. You also have to actually buy ammunition. Now you might think 8 bullets is not a lot. These are muskets. The reload time on these is absolutely ridiculous. Just bear that one in mind. Armor there that reduces 1 HP per hit. And I might be able to get enough for the musket, but it seems like it would cost a lot. And what I'd actually prefer to do is upgrade my melee weapon if possible. Let's head to the hardware store and the blacksmith and see if that is actually available here. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that little beast. Oh, yes. Alternative, you could grab that. I want to save up for this. This might be feasible right now. The Forest Queen Felling Axe. A lot of damage. Very, very good in comparison to mine. There isn't a direct comparison ability here, which is kind of annoying. I hope they actually put that into the full game. Doesn't appear... Well, this currently has Holy on it, because I got this axe blessed, so that's quite nice for dealing with werewolves. I might have to get my other axe blessed once I get it. Speaking of dealing with werewolves and blessing, you go to the convent, you can get bullets or your melee weapon blessed. The Hotel Saloon is a good place to buy consumables, which mostly consist of beer, spruce beer, caribou, eau de vie. Bear in mind it's Canadian, so there's a lot of French-Canadian influence here as well. Including, of course, the name of the game. Spruce beer, yes. It is a typical Canadian beverage, apparently. So I have been told. That gives you a bunch of stamina, plus damage. That's actually kind of helpful. I don't think I have any of this. I'm going to buy a couple of health potions. There we go. And now I'm going to head back to the actual battle map itself, and I'm going to get some logging done. Let's keep an eye on the cash. You don't exactly get a lot for it, let's put it that way. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this upgrade for my axe. I might get the cheaper one. There was one that was a slight upgrade, I think. I don't want to spend too many action points logging here. The reason is because I spend action points to put down traps. And the less traps I've got, the more difficult this is going to be. So I have $1 Canadian, which at one point was worth next to nothing, but apparently it's pretty close to the US now, if you can actually believe that. Let's go get the axe. There was a mild upgrade, I think, that was about 70 cents or something. 60 cents, there we go. Now, J. White Co. Broadhead Axe, in comparison to this one, is just better. Although this one has significantly more range, this one hits a lot harder, and I'm a man, so... I'm a strong Canadian man. Which means I'm going to equip this a little bit later on. Alright, now I'm going to go try and get it blessed, so because I know there's going to be some werewolves coming in our general direction, so let's see what the convent has to say about blessing this axe, if at all possible. 40 cents in order to do it. Oh, actually, that's $1. Wow, $1 to do it. Okay, fine. Well, I'll keep this axe, and I guess I can switch this axe over if I wish to take down werewolves. Sounds like a plan. I don't really have a lot of money otherwise. Do I have any bullets blessed at all? Might be a good idea to get a few of those blessed. There we go. Yeah, 4 bullets. So these are holy bullets. I can switch out to these, and I can take out werewolves with these significantly easier. Now, to place some traps. Let's do that. Overall, as you can see so far, the interface is really quite nicely themed. And it's surprisingly enough not actually difficult to use. I would have thought because of the fact that they... I would almost say put usability on the back burner in favor of aesthetic. I would have thought, oh, this is going to be a bit awkward. It's actually not, which is really quite nice. Spike traps would be good. I'm going to have to log quite a bit, even if I want to do that. Wolf traps don't... Actually, these are now costing money. Pretty sure they never used to. They must have introduced this mechanic in previously, because wolf traps, I'm pretty sure, used to be free in the tutorial. Now, the weird thing about this is, as you can see, all the stuff that goes off automatically requires money. Yeah? It usually takes less time to deploy, at least from time to time. And this stuff you have to actually activate. And you might think, what use would be a bonfire? Well, you'll find out. So, there's going to be some grand wolves coming in this general direction. 2 times faster than a wolf. So, what would be good here is I'm going to have to cut some more stuff down. There we go. I could put a spike trap down there. That's going to take 50 action points, though. It's a bit expensive. I'm going to put 2 wolf traps down instead. They're going to be coming from this general direction. My hope is the wolf traps will slow them down, which will allow me to get to them and kill them. A lot of the stuff you will have to do yourself. You can't rely on traps for everything. Now, hanging nets are free, but you do have to activate them, and you've got to be very, very careful about where you put them. Bear in mind, of course, Wave 2 will come in as well. So apparently, there's going to be a werewolf spawn right there. If I get there in time, I could do significant damage with a hanging net. But that's assuming I can get there in time. Now, what I can also do is place down a bonfire. There's actually a fear mechanic in this game, which is really rather interesting. I'm going to put that one right there. Now, bait would be useful if I want to try and keep them back for a while. So let's just say I'm going to have difficulty defending this area, right? What do I do? Well, what I can do is I can put bait down here, which is going to keep them away for a little while. There we go. Now I've got 50 action points left. Another bonfire probably wouldn't be terrible, just in case I need to get in this general direction. Do I have enough for one more hanging net? I actually do. Probably won't get a chance to activate it, but hey, we'll go for it anyway. So werewolf's going to be coming from this direction. There's not a lot of places I can really put this net. If I time it well, I might be able to take it out there. Alright, so that's pretty much everything done. I'm going to go to my inventory and make sure I'm equipped with everything I actually want to be equipped with here. Let's swap that out there. I say, it's a better item in general. I've got a couple of these active items that I can use to heal myself up, and this is probably going to be a pretty tough night. So, let's get ready to rock and roll. And then I can show you some very interesting combat mechanics. Alright, that's all I can do. Yep, out of cash, so we shall start off the night. Now, as we start off the night, what's going to happen is it's going to kick the waves in, and this is all done in real time. You don't really have too much of a choice to do anything else. And you also kind of have to remember where everything is coming from.
Enraged. Certain enemies have a chance of turning enraged the more you attack them. Once an enemy is enraged, it's much more aggressive and is no longer affected by your fear factor.
these nice little tutorials pop in every now and again, which is always good. Let's have a quick little look at the map, shall we? So, there's those Grand Wolves over there. They're going to be held back for quite some time. It's going to take them a while to get here because the 2 objectives are very far in. Those wolves over there, it depends which direction they come in. I may be able to catch them with a trap, maybe not. And then there's the werewolf. The werewolf's probably the biggest threat, and that may very well be the thing that I decide to go for first. Orientating yourself based on this map is a little bit tricky, because this one you can't rotate, whereas the other one you can. The werewolf's going to come from this direction, I think. No, it's going to come from this direction. There we go. So, I'm going to head in that direction. This is not really a good access point, unfortunately, as much as I wish that it was. I really should have gone around the other way. So, we're going to look for the werewolf. Now, I can also bring the werewolf to me. Okay, it looks like it's actually reached the house already, which is pretty bad news for all things considered. Alright, where is it? I can barely bloody see it. Now, I've got a bonfire here that I could activate. Alright. I don't even know where the werewolf is. This is just a bunch of normal wolves, so it's going to be a little bit trickier to deal with. So, you might notice there's this weird little bar thing going down to the bottom. Well, the strange thing about that is... Oh, the mill's going to die, isn't it? Really? Oh, I didn't know there was an objective over there. Damn it, I'm actually just going to lose this immediately. This is a huge, gigantic pain in the ass. This is going to get destroyed. I can't even reach there in time. Yeah, that's GG. Done. Ha! Yeah. Great. We're going to have to try that one again. I got that completely wrong. Didn't even get a chance to actually explain the fear factor mechanic, but we're going to have to do this again. Well, I guess we'll start again from Twilight, and we'll just dash immediately in that general direction. The main problem is that you don't really have a lot of traps in order to actually do what you need to do. I thought this was just going to start me from there. Okay. So, this mill, there was a problem there. Werewolf comes from this direction. I can't get there in time, which is irritating. What would be nice is if I could control where I was able to spawn, but it doesn't seem like that's actually possible. I may need to actually move this wolf trap. That didn't do anything. That's kind of annoying. I'm going to just wipe all of my traps and have another look at this, because I clearly did this wrong. So, stuff's going to come in from this direction, stuff's going to come in from that direction. I think maybe we have to go a little bit more hardcore with stuff here. So, that's going to have to cross the bridge in order to get there. A spike trap should deal with them quite nicely, assuming I can find a place to put it. There we go. It will go there. Okay, so I put a spike trap there. I can afford one more spike trap. In fact, I might have to just kind of passively defend this entire area. What's it going to do? Oh, it's not going to trigger on a werewolf. Interesting, because it requires 3 or more creatures standing over it. That's irritating. 40 points to every enemy standing on the spike trap when it goes off. So it could kill these Grand Wolves quite easily. So let's just wipe that, because that's not going to be of any use. So in theory, if I put a spike trap here, all of these Grand Wolves die. Cool. So, that's that sorted out. Now I just need to deal with this werewolf, which I'm going to have to just delay. So I'm going to put I'm going to put a trap there. If I log a little bit more, then I can afford another one. Put a trap at the other side. This should hopefully delay the wolves long enough for me to get there and engage. Now, these 2 wolves here, I'm going to kill immediately. Because they're very, very close. They should be easy to take out. And that's wave 1. Then on wave 2... This is where things kind of get real. I'll be over this side when that wave ends. These are things you've got to bear in mind. You've got to kind of plan everything before you even start. So, the only other thing that's going to be there is that one werewolf. So, on the way back, I need to kill that, and I need to be able to delay these guys. So, there's going to be a werewolf coming out here. So, a wolf trap may be able to delay that one for a little while. Although bait would probably be more effective. So if I put bait here, just to slow down the werewolf, that leaves me with, what, 15 action points? So maybe one more bait. Yeah, I think we're just going to go for double bait here. And then as I come around, I guess I can intercept and kill that stuff. There we go. Well, that's the hope. This may work, it may not. It's a damn better strategy than what I had previously, though. And I've got to say, it's that planning that makes the game really interesting. Now, let's get into the battle again and try and explain you some mechanics, because I didn't explain to you a damn thing. I lost the mission within a minute. Yeah, it's that difficult. Okay, so first thing is first. Yeah. Okay, old Canadian man. Thank you very much. Alright, let's have a quick look at the map. So, those two wolves are going to be coming from that direction. They're probably going to come straight for the bait, which is exactly where I should move. Now, I'm hoping the stuff over the other side gets delayed long enough. So we're going to immediately come and try and kill those. Now, as they spawn, I should be able to bring them in. There they are. Okay, I can see them on the minimap right there. Alright, so let's fight them off, which shouldn't be too difficult. There we go. One down. Trying to take out the second one. I'm a little bit out of stamina here, which is unfortunate. Thankfully, there's something called the fear factor. This is kind of a big deal. So, fear factor represents what happens when wild animals have to deal with the fact that they're up against something they're scared of. It also kind of affects you as well. God, it takes forever to get over here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this off with this. I may have had to have used bait there instead. Come on. Get me over there. He's going to take some damage. I may be able to stop this, but I don't know. It's getting pretty damn close. So, as I said, fear factor represents the fact that animals are kind of scared of you. And as a direct result,
I'll chop you in two.
You will run into some interesting mechanics. If you're not too close to an enemy, what's going to happen is it's going to kind of circle around you until it's next ready to attack, depending on kind of how scared it is. In this case, these guys aren't particularly scared by me at all, especially thanks to the presence of a werewolf here. Now, what would be good is if I was able to actually shoot them with a blessed bullet. If I enter rifle mode, I might be able to do that. I'm not sure if I have one loaded, though. I'm gonna try and fend these guys off. I'm probably gonna die here. This game's combat system is not exactly designed for God of War style stuff, let me put it that way. You have to very carefully manage your stamina. And if you burn your stamina out too much, then you're gonna be in serious trouble. If you burn your stamina out, you basically do next to no damage, and you don't have any ability at all to dodge or run or swing hard, which is a bit of a problem. Okay, let's take this wolf out. That should scare them a little bit more. There we go. Come on. Need to try and avoid taking too much damage to this werewolf. Werewolves sadly don't take a lot of melee damage. Alright, prepare the rifle. No, I'm not going to get a shot off on him. Now, as you might notice, the combat system is a little clunky. But the thing is, it's not really designed for action combat. This is actually very tactical. The fear factor system is something you have to take into consideration consistently in this game. Alright, wave 2's coming in, so at least we can pause for a little bit. The fear factor system, especially against large packs of wolves, means that you know when an enemy is going to attack based on how close that fear factor indicator is to your indicator. When the wolves get over their fear of coming at you, they will attack you. And you can also identify which is which and then pick off the ones that are braver and coming at you. There's a lot of consideration and strategy involved in that. A scary amount, really. It's pretty damn cool. And it does let me, at least to some degree, get over the fact that the game is a little bit janky in terms of its combat. Like, overall animation quality, things like swing speed and just general fluid gameplay are not exactly fantastic by any stretch of the imagination. Alright, bait is being devoured. I am waiting for this werewolf to come at me. And I'm going to try and hit it in the head. Oh, I missed. Oh, God, this is bad. Bad news. Okay. Werewolves, needless to say, not particularly scared of anything. Alright, I've got enough for a special attack. I just want to try and get some stamina back here. Which is not working out too well. I hate werewolves. There we go. That should at least get him away from me for a while. And he's saying, oh, shoot him with your gun. Yeah, can't do that. I need to reload, which takes forever. He's not that intimidated. If I get far enough away, he might get intimidated enough not to come and murder me. What would be nice here is if I actually had a campfire, bonfire to sort of drive him away a little bit, but this guy really doesn't care that much, as you can see. He is not worried about my abilities. Doing a little bit more damage, Trying to avoid taking too much more. And as you can see, my building over the other side of the map is taking damage because I'm not killing this guy quickly enough. So I'm probably going to end up failing this mission. My planning was obviously not that good. One more hit. One more hit. I'm too exhausted. Alright, werewolf's down. And now I've got to head back there, and I'm going to fail. There's no real question about it. This is not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. It actually reminds me of a game, I think it was for PlayStation 1 and Sega Saturn, by the name of The Horde. It was this freaking hard. Really, really difficult. Genuinely, just stupidly hard. And it was a fun game, but ridiculously frustrating. You had to plan in the extreme in order to actually survive. And this is exactly what is happening here. So we're going to have yet another look at what I'm doing here. I might actually even have to buy that stamina buff that allows me to run a lot faster. But what I could do is replace these wolf traps with bait instead. Because that might... I'm probably going to have to use a lot of bait here in order to try and delay the creatures that are coming at me. The weird thing about this was I ended up fighting the Grand Wolves even though I thought the spike trap should have been enough. I guess... Oh no, there's only 2 wolves that pop up there, so the spike trap doesn't even work. So that's something to consider. So I'm thinking instead I'll put a bonfire here, fight around the bonfire, which will give me a fear factor advantage. Maybe just throw down bait everywhere just to slow people down. So I know I can take these wolves down here almost immediately. I also know there's going to be attacks coming on here. So wave 2 is going to be a lot of wolves coming in this general direction. I may be able to trigger a spike trap here, especially if I put bait around. So if I put bait behind this, then maybe... Can I put bait in it? Because that would be kind of neat. Let's... Aha! Sneaky, sneaky. Alright. This might deal with it a little bit better here on wave 2. Admittedly, we are still dealing with the fact that there's this bastard, but again... Use more bait. Just try and keep him away. And now I'm pretty much out of action points. Alright. So that's the strategy. I'm trying to see if there's actually a more optimal route here. I don't think there really is. This is kind of a creek. I don't think this area is accessible here, so it doesn't matter which way I go. It's going to take a while to jog over there, so here's hoping the bait will do the job, and then I can use the bonfire to get a fighting advantage. Okay. I have 10 AP, so I might as well just cut some more wood. There we go. Nice. Alright, let's give it another bash then. Would be kind of nice, but you know what? I think I can handle it. At least I hope I can. Let's make sure we have the weapon. I mean, I'm almost tempted just to take the old pine axe instead, just because it's blessed. Even though it doesn't do as much damage, I'm thinking it might be a better bet. I'm not getting a chance, really, to fire my gun, so yeah, let's just stick with that. It gives me a little bit more reach as well, even though it doesn't do quite as much damage. Since I'm dealing with so many werewolves, I need a blessed weapon, I think. My impression of this game so far is that it's rock hard, but it's very, very interesting. It's a cool combination of active defense and melee combat, as well as a crap ton of planning. You do have to also remember quite a bit. Like, when you come up with your plan, you just have to remember where things went and how things went the way that they did. Alright, first things first. I'm gonna take these little bastards out immediately. There we go. Don't want to get too close. Their fear factor's still fairly high. I could probably shoot one of them, actually. There we go. That's one down to the musket. And now we can go after the other guy. Sweet. Alright, so now we have to head over the other side. Start to burn my stamina as quickly as I can. So I only took like 1 hit. No big deal. So the bait should be being devoured over there. That's going to take a little bit of time. I should, actually, before I engage, reload my musket. Which I think... Do you hammer E to reload this faster? I can't actually remember. Or is it click the mouse button? There is something that allows you to reload the gun faster, which is quite nice. Alright, what did I have loaded here? I think I load... Oh, no, there we go. Okay, cool. Just making sure that I have my blessed bullet loaded so I can do damage. I have a feeling the bait's been finished. Yes, it has, so... Let's get a move on as quickly as possible over there. Okay, where's the werewolf? Where is he? There he is, okay. is crossing the bridge now, and they're going to go and attack this building. So I need to kind of sneak up on the werewolf and get a really good shot off, and then I'm going to set off the bonfire. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Can't see him. Can't see him. There he is. Okay, screw it. I'm going to set off the bonfire right now. Okay, they've seen me. So this bonfire is going to increase fear factor, which means it's going to be significantly easier for me to shoot this werewolf, which is exactly what I just managed to do. Hit him in the head. There's a special attack to take him down. Now let's get back in the range of the bonfire, which is going to give me a little bit more time. As I say, I think you just repeatedly click to reload faster. I can't quite remember. Yeah. Alright, there we go. Let's aim for the head again. Nice. That was another holy bullet that took him down. And then, while I'm close to this bonfire, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to really do anything. They will come at me eventually. They'll get over their fear factor of the fire and they'll come at me, but it will take them some time. Uh-oh. The bonfire's burnt out there. Not too happy with me now. There you go. Have a special attack. Special attacks charge up pretty quickly from just doing melee. They're a nice little feature. You can charge up bigger attacks to take down bigger creatures if you've unlocked those attacks. These guys just don't care at all now, so I'm just going to have to kill them as quickly as I can. Which, unfortunately, is not that quick. Okay, maybe I can get a shot off on him. There we go. The musket is actually really interesting because it's kind of like a don't shoot until you see the whites of their eyes thing, which is extremely cool. Alright. Better reload this bloody thing. Gotta get the next holy bullet in. There we go. Click the right button to reload faster. Gotta deal with the second werewolf that's coming in my general direction. Can't remember what... Oh, yeah, he spawns there, doesn't he? So he's gonna come over here. Bait's currently being devoured, so let's make sure I get a good headshot on this werewolf as he comes around. Then I can engage him and try and kill him with my axe. Come on, anytime now. That's a headshot. Alright. Let's go for this little bastard. There we go. Dodge out of the way before he's able to do damage. So you see how strategic this is? And how it's really not like a case of, ooh, better just, like, slash him as quickly as possible. No, it's not that at all. It doesn't work that way. And that's the cool thing about it. It's a lot more methodical. It's a lot more strategic. And you can't just spam traps either. Since you can't put traps down in the middle of a fight, you can't really adapt to what's coming your way. You can get through a lot of stuff with melee skill, but you have to rigorously plan before you go in, which is fantastic, because most games like that don't work that way. And I think we've actually nailed it, because I think the other wolves took my bait, ran over the spike trap, died, and now I'm going to deal with this little bugger. Oh yeah. Come at me, bro. As you can see, I actually used an intimidating shout there to bring him in. Alright, what have we got? What have we got? And shot him in the head. Alright, yes, son of a pig. Spawn of Satan's crotch. Bring it. Just bring it. You know, if it's going to be like that, I might just shoot him again, but no. There we go. Hit him a few more times with the axe. Yes! And there it is. And that is the difference between being a dumbass and being a smart Canadian woodsman. Complete failure within 30 seconds, or unanimous victory against the forces of hell itself. You gain experience, gain cash, you level up, and all that good stuff. Now, my conclusion up to this point is so far, like, I really like this game a lot. I think this game genuinely brings something completely new to the defense genre. It's got a really nice aesthetic. The music is super fun. It's all kind of Canadian folk music and things like that. The aesthetic is great across the board. I like the cartoony aspect mixed with this sort of historical paper and wood effect, everything that's all over that stuff. That's great. The mythological creatures is great too. Because as you can see, we've got a new one here. It's like, ooh, there's a new kind of werewolf that can't be lured with bait. Recommended items, a sacred tree, firewall, spike trap, hanging net, and so on and so forth. And I love the fact that you just can't adapt. You have to plan. It is a game for planners. It is a genuine strategy game. Even though the action combat part looks like it's a hack and slash. It's not at all. Not at all. This is in itself a wonderful, wonderful thing. Okay. Ooh, something new. Let's have a look at it.
Firewalls. Use firewalls to block paths in the forest, forcing enemies to take an alternate route. If you block every available path with firewalls, enemies will sacrifice some health and go through the walls anyways. If one enemy does this, it breaks the wall, allowing others through unharmed.
There's also some neat stuff, like different paths open every now and again due to logging. And in this case, the river's frozen over, which means that's a new path to consider. This is really, really interesting and a bunch of fun, if somewhat frustrating. The cool thing about it is that it's so strategic that any screw-up is really your fault. Like, you should have thought of this better. You didn't plan properly, and as a result, you balked it up, mate. You just didn't do it very well. And that's kind of a wonderful thing. There's not a lot of games that really allow you to do that these days. And as a result, I would strongly recommend that you have a look at this particular title. Sang Froid is the name of it. Tales of Werewolves. It is going to be out apparently on April the 5th. You can purchase it now against the beta, of course. Wouldn't necessarily recommend that. I don't buy incomplete games or pre-order and so on and so forth. Don't really recommend it. But everything I'm seeing so far about it is pretty cool. Stuff that I don't like about it, I think, you know, the combat system, even though it's not that vital, even though it's obviously a strategy game, not an action game, they could maybe tighten it up just a little bit. The animations are somewhat stilted at times. I don't think it gets in the way of the gameplay, but it's something that I feel could be polished up just a little bit. I love the fear factor system. I think that's a really interesting idea. That's not something I've really seen before. The use of bonfires and just being able to take out the aggressive kind of leaders of the pack to cow the rest of it. That's cool. That's original. That's innovative. That's unique. In fact, this game kind of leaks that from every pore, as well as charm. Full-on, straight-up Canadian charm. Not something I often say. And as a direct result, I'm really interested to see where this goes. It's called Tome 1, which intrigues me. And how do they intend to release this? Is there going to be a Tome 2? Is there going to be some kind of episodic release going on here and there? Or where does the story go? Not something we really saw a lot of. I deliberately didn't show you a lot of it because it's pretty interesting. It's like a folktale. And in that respect, it's actually worth paying attention to. So there you go, folks. Sang Froid, Tales of Werewolves. Going to be available on April the 5th for PC. Price will be, at launch, $13.49, £10.79, €12.59, going up to around $15, or your regional equivalent after the launch week is done. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.